We're here with an episode of Conversations and Connections, the official podcast of the Family Crisis Center of East Texas. I'm Stuart Burson, the Prevention Coordinator for the agency. And it's hard to believe, but it's almost that time of the year again, back to school. It's going to sneak up on us before we know it in August. And so I thought we'd take this time, like we have done in the past, to specifically talk to our Child Advocate Sadaria Christian about the Family Crisis Center school supply drive. Sadarria, I think that was the last thing we probably talked about when you were here the last time was probably the school supply drive. How's it going so far?
Everything's going good.
Okay.
Going good. We're about to start getting ready.
So let's talk a little bit about the supply drive. First and foremost, what are we needing people to donate? What are we looking for specifically?
We need pocket folders with brads, pencils, pens, paper, reusable water bottles, markers, earbuds, and non-mesh backpacks for all grades.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we're not looking at specific grades. We're talking about K through 12, I guess, sir. Right? Okay. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's pretty much any kind of type of school supply thing that would be on probably any school's supplies list or school supply list, I guess.
Yeah, any basic essential school supply.
Right. Okay. So why is it important? Why do we need these donations? You know, some people who may listen may think, well, you know, these kids, you know, that's up to their parents, let's say, or whatever. But why is it important for us to collect school supplies for the kids, the children of our clients?
Well, donations help ease the burden on parents who otherwise may not have the means to provide school supplies for their children. So that's why we need donations.
Yeah. So I guess, you know, you take a client or a parent who is a client of ours, they probably got a gazillion things going on in their life, and adding, I got to make sure I get my child's school supplies, just one more thing to add to things that they have going on. So this is really just kind of easing the burden
for parents,
I guess,
yes,
of parents who are, and we do want to remind people, these parents, again, are our clients who are going through domestic violence situations, sexual assault situations, and they do need our help, right? Mm-hmm. So who, and I guess I kind of answered my own question, what I have coming up next about who will these supplies go to? But I think it's important to understand, and I don't know how many people realize, when we talk about our clients, it's not necessarily just parents who are in our shelter.
Right.
Right?
We have transitional outreach. So the supplies will go to children kindergarten through 12th grade students only.
Okay. All right. So just out of curiosity, if you even had just like a ballpark estimate, how many kids are we looking at who need these donations? What would you say?
Right now, I don't have an exact number, but I would say at the least 300. And I say that because we get kids throughout the school year. So this is an ongoing thing. We're always distributing school supplies so they can have what they need. So I would say at the least 300.
Well, I think when you give that figure out, you know, we need to realize the number of kids we have now isn't necessarily going to be the number of kids we have here in a few weeks when school starts.
Right.
You know, and then it's like you brought up a good point. You know, what if we have a child that comes in the middle of the school year? They may not have everything, the essentials that they do need. Mm-hmm. So you can't just look at the amount of kids we have right now. You got to think about the kids coming and going, and the kids coming here into our program in the future as well.
Yeah. And that's exactly why the agency is grateful for all donations received.
Right.
Because it really does help.
So I know this isn't really on the list of school supplies, as I'm doing air quotes here, but what about clothes? And I don't know, I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of out of the loop because I'm not a parent. I don't know how many schools still do like the school uniform type of things where kids have to have a certain type of shirt and a certain type of pants. I know a lot of the private schools do, but I don't know if public schools still requires those types of things.
Public schools, Lufkin ISD doesn't really require uniform, but I will say that tennis shoes from size non-toddler all the way to adult sizes for both boys and girls. And then we are also accepting new clothes that fall within the guidelines of the dress code at the shoes, along with socks. And like I said, Lufkin ISD is no longer uniform, but we are still accepting uniform donations, because I may have a child that comes in that's already enrolled in a charter school or a private school, and where they're required to wear uniforms. So,
okay, and so one of the things I do want to ask is, someone's listening, they want to make a donation. How do they do that? What's the process of making sure they get school supplies and it gets into your hands?
All they will have to do is drop off the donation at the admin office here in Lufkin, and you can just call 936-639-1681 and ask for me or Miss Angela Turner, and we will accept those donations.
And what is there a deadline? So this is kind of interesting. The deadline in place. If someone wants to donate school supplies, what's the late? I guess we can, of course, we're going to take them throughout the year, but specifically for this drive to get these kids ready for school, do we have a deadline?
Yes, specifically for this drive, our deadline is August 12th, but I just want to throw this out that Lufkin ISD does start August 7th, so we would really appreciate it if we could get those donations before the 12th. But yes, we are accepting all throughout the year, and we are grateful for, like I said, all donations received.
Gotcha. All right. Before we wrap things up, Sadarria, is there anything else you want to make sure that the listeners know about as far as the school supply drive?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. Like I said, we'll need those basic essential school supplies, and we are accepting tennis shoes and new clothes that fall within the school's dress code, along with socks.
Okay, great. Sadarria Christian, our child advocate here at the Family Crisis Center. Again, that is our back-to-school supply drive going on right now. And again, the deadline is the 12th, and we'll accept donations, of course, until the 12th, but do keep in mind that a lot of the schools, I know, especially Lufkin, do start very early this year, it seems like, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, Sadarria. I appreciate it so much.
You're welcome.
All right. So if you need more information, you can call our we got a toll-free hotline if you want more information, or even if you feel like you need the services of the Family Crisis Center. That number is 1-800-828-7233. Be sure to subscribe to Conversations and Connections. You can do that via Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much any podcast service of your choice. Remember, be the voice. If not for you, for someone else.